håper ingen har høydeskrekk. Jeg håper jeg ikke har høydeskrekk. Den kommer og går. Unnskyld. Flyr dere på biodiesel? Jeg heter Julie, og jeg skal kjøre på tvers av Canada i en bil drevet av frityrolje for å undersøke Statoils oljesandvirksomhet. Nå er vi på grensen mellom Manitoba og Saskatchewan, så da begynner vi å se sånne oljepumper som popper opp her og der i landskapet. Og så ser vi også litt sånn store batterier hvor oljen blir samlet, og så blir den sendt i rørledninger ned til USA. Og noe av det folk er så redde for med de rørledningene er at det skal lekke, det skal bli ødelagt, så skal det komme oljesøl overalt. Og nå skal vi besøke en bonde her i området, Carlisle Jørgensen, som har flere rørledninger på eiendommen sin. Og for noen måneder siden så oppdaget han en ganske stor lekkasje rett i nærheten.
In the last couple of years, I've reported 4 spills. Only one of those spills was cleaned up. But they say it was a 30 barrel a day well for 10 days. But they also said it was 100,000 liters, and that's 512 barrels. So my own personal opinion, flying over it, it was a lot bigger than 300 barrels or even 500 barrels. So it's a significant spill, and the biggest in this area for sure. Hopefully it's being cleaned up properly. But again, the province leaves that up to the oil companies. It's their choice of how this is cleaned up. So I don't know, but there needs to be, somebody has to look at this. They're still putting the flow lines in the same way as they have before, and if you have 1 or 2 year old lines that are giving trouble already, I would say that there's a problem with that, and they're going to have a look at it.
Det med rørledningene en av de store debattene som foregår her akkurat nå, fordi det er planlagt flere nye store rørledninger som skal ta olje fra oljesanden på kryss og tvers i landet. Da. De rørledningene har også Statoil sin olje, så det er ganske mange som imot.
I know the oil's got to get transported, and yeah, that probably is the safest way of doing it when you look at the big picture. But I will say that I don't have any pipelines, national pipelines across my property, and I'm grateful for that. Those are major spills and in a hurry.
Down that way, about 16 kilometers that way is the American border. And we're standing right above the single largest conduit of oil to the United States. So there's 7 signs in the ditch here. Each one of them is above a pipeline. So 7 pipelines, all owned by Enbridge. If you put them all together, it would be about a 2-meter diameter pipeline. Roughly 2 million barrels a day flows right under us here. Intersecting that line, just over in the field there, is the Keystone Pipeline, which was put in 2010, Trans-Canada Pipelines. It's another 590,000 barrels a day. It's just too much. We have to slow down.
It's spreading like tentacles, and the impacts are reaching other people. Like say in the spills that we saw in Kalamazoo with the Michigan spill, the most recent one in Arkansas. We saw one on the West Coast with the Kinder Morgan in 2007. And I think it's raising the alarm bells because maybe people don't know about the impacts or don't feel the initial impacts like our communities do in Alberta, but they definitely do through the impacts of the pipelines that are spreading throughout North America.
Grunnen til at de vil bygge de rørledningene jo at oljen skal kunne komme ut til markeder som ikke bare USA. Sånn en av rørledningene som har vært mest omstridt går fra oljesanden og ut til vestkysten. Og det fordi at da kan den bli sendt på båter igjen over til Asia.
Well, you should never be dependent on one customer. Norway doesn't sell its North Sea gas only to one customer. So Canada wants to diversify. The fastest growing oil market or energy market in the world is the Pacific Basin. So it's as obvious as the nose on your face that that's where you should go. When oil industry is about 25% of our export economy, and Canadians right from sea to sea to the Arctic they depend on an economy, and we are in a resource economy just like Norway is. You know, if we want to enjoy our standard of living and all the things that we have, then maybe we should figure out a way of doing this and doing it in an environmentally, socially acceptable way.
If these pipelines get built, what happens is that the pipeline companies and the energy companies are dictating energy policy, because then it's done. You've got governments and industry have spent billions and billions of dollars building these pipelines. You're not going to turn around and then say, well, we're going to turn to wind and solar. You're just going to allow the continued expansion of this stuff. If you cut the arteries, then you cut the potential for growth in the tar sands. You cannot, if they cannot sell it, there's no point financially in continuing to develop it.
Vi I Calgary, og vi skal besøke Statoil sitt hovedkontor. Så jeg har pyntet meg for anledningen. Det blir spennende.